Imagine elementary school where 997 students never leave a single fenced playground across 4 years, and 127 episodes, where 10-year-olds establish military dictatorship, complete with king and enforcer class, where one teacher patrols yard like prison guard, tracking infractions in notebook she calls evidence, where kids treat playground borders like electrified fence never attempting escape, where parents never visit, where principal runs facility from tower overlooking captive population, and where 6 protagonists refer to returning indoors as going back inside, using exact language juvenile detention facilities use. For 8 years, 1997 to 2001 ABC, and Disney told 20 million Saturday morning viewers we were watching normal elementary school recess. But architectural containment, authoritarian hierarchy, Miss Finster's corrections officer behavior, and complete absence of outside world contact encode different reality. 3rd Street School is juvenile reform facility. The recess gang are detained youth processing institutionalization through playground politics, and Disney accidentally created most accurate depiction of youth incarceration ever broadcast to children. Welcome to Toon Truth Exposed, where we excavate the institutional darkness Disney buried in your Saturday mornings. Our 9th transmission cracks open the 1997 to 2001 vault, dissecting Recess, the deceptively wholesome series that ran 127 episodes, teaching kids about friendship and playground justice while encoding juvenile detention systems so precisely that criminology students could use it as case study. Over the next 13 minutes, we expose the reform school evidence Paul Germain and Joe Ansolaba here embedded, architectural containment patterns matching youth correctional facilities, Miss Finster as corrections officer, not teacher, King Bob's dictatorship as inmate hierarchy, the Ashleys as privileged minimum security, why kids never go home or see parents, and how Recess documents childhood incarceration disguised as playground adventures. Subscribe now. Every Tuesday, another animated theory reveals the institutions hiding behind cartoons. Descend with me into 3rd Street School, the facility that never releases its population. Recess premiered September 1997 on ABC as part of Disney's One Saturday Morning block. Premise: 6 4th-grade friends navigate elementary school recess building fort, establishing playground society, interacting with 997 other students. Series ran 127 episodes, plus 1 theatrical film across 4 seasons, ending 2001. Every episode takes place within school grounds. Playground surrounded by tall chain-link fence. Kids never leave campus. Parents never shown dropping off or picking up across 127 episodes. Miss Finster patrols yard documenting infractions. Principal Prickly observes from tower office. King Bob rules playground from jungle gym throne, enforced by loyal subjects. Geographic containment absolute. Series treats isolation as normal. But correctional facility analysis reveals 3rd Street School operates identically to juvenile detention centers. The 997 students are detained youth, recess is supervised yard time, and returning to classroom is returning to cells. Architectural evidence undeniable. 3rd Street School surrounded by tall chain-link fence visible every episode. Fence 8 to 10 feet high, no gaps, single gate entrance monitored. Playground layout matches juvenile facility recreation yards. Open space for observation, minimal hiding spots. Clear sight lines from administrative tower. Principal Prickly's office elevated with windows overlooking entire yard. Exact design of corrections observation posts. Kids never attempt to leave or climb fence across 127 episodes, despite conflicts and drama. fence treated as absolute boundary. Episode The Break-In, Season 2. Kids break into school after hours. Title uses prison language, emphasizes transgression of entering secured facility. Episode The Experiment, Season 4. New student arrives. Other kids explain playground rules. Orientation matching intake procedures describing facility regulations to new detainees. Miss Finster patrols with notebook logging violations, behavior matching corrections officers, documenting infractions for review boards, determining privileges and release eligibility. Miss Finster operates as corrections officer, not teacher. Appears 89 episodes across series. Never teaches class, only patrols playground. Carries notebook documenting every rule violation, names, timestamps. Refers to documentation as permanent record. Language juvenile facilities use for files following youth through system. Episode The Ratings Game, Season 4. Miss Finster rates students' behavior with point system, identical to behavior management systems juvenile facilities use for privileges and early release. Her appearance, severe, authoritarian, physically intimidating. Episode Mama's Girl, Season 3, reveals she lives alone, defines herself entirely through job. Classic profile of career corrections officer whose identity merges with institution. Her relationship with Principal Prickly, professional partnership managing detained population. She reports infractions, he determines consequences. Standard chain of command in correctional settings. Kids fear her not as mean teacher, but as authority figure who controls their fate within system. King Bob dictatorship proves inmate hierarchy establishment. 6th grader rules playground from jungle gym throne. Lower grades show deference. 4th graders middle tier. Kindergartners bottom tier. Ashleys form exclusive clique, separate from hierarchy. Social structure mirrors documented juvenile detention hierarchies, where older/bigger detainees establish dominance, enforce rules, control resources, and younger/weaker detainees submit or face consequences. Episode King Bob's Reign shows succession. When Bob graduates, released, power transfers to next 6th grader. Episode The Breakup. Season 2, Randall serves as informant reporting to Miss Finster. Classic jailhouse snitch role trading information for protection and privileges. Diggers searching for underground escape routes. Recurring prison escape fantasy. Upside down. Girls' constant handstands. Self-soothing repetitive behavior exhibited by institutionalized youth. Every playground character represents documented response pattern to confinement. Recess gang as protagonists, processing detention through found family. 6 kids, TJ, leader, Spinelli, tough girl, Vince, athlete, Gretchen, intellectual, Mikey, gentle giant, Gus, new kid. None ever reference home life, parents, or existence beyond school. Episode Parents' Night, Season 1, shows parents visiting school, annual event, not daily pickup. Parents appear uncomfortable, interactions brief and supervised. Classic visiting day pattern in youth facilities where parents visit quarterly or monthly. Interactions monitored. Families don't discuss what led to placement. TJ's leadership. Incarcerated youth often form protective groups led by charismatic figure, offering structure replacing lost family. Their fort tender, literal refuge within confined space. Kids creating sense of home inside institution. Episode 1 Stayed Clean. Season 2. Gang protects Gus from getting dirty so he can impress parent visiting. Detainees helping each other prepare for review boards and parental visits proving rehabilitation. The Ashleys represent privileged detainees in minimum security track. 4 girls, Ashley A, B, Q, T. Wealthy, exclusive, obsessed with status and appearance. occupy separate area of playground, barely interact with general population. Juvenile justice systems often separate wealthy youth with family resources into less restrictive programs. Ashleys never face consequences. Miss Finster applies to others, privilege buying different treatment. Episode The Girl Was Trouble, Season 4. Ashley A's manipulation tactics, learned behavior from youth who've navigated system using family connections. Their club membership requirements, gatekeeping, matching how privileged detained youth maintains separation from general population. Geographic isolation absolute across 127 episodes. Kids never shown going home. No episodes at anyone's house, except rare flashbacks. No family vacations, weekend activities, or life outside school grounds. Episode The Terrifying Tales of Recess, Halloween Special. Kids tell scary stories at school sleepover. They're spending night at facility. Episode School World, Season 2. Gus believes he's only student in school. Psychological break revealing underlying truth that school is total institution-defining existence. No graduations shown across 4 seasons, despite 6th graders aging out. Kids simply disappear when they leave, released from system, no follow-up. Episode The Army-Navy Game, Season 3. Military school kids visit for competition. Juvenile facilities often interact with other youth institutions for sports/activities. Outsiders remain outsiders. Creator intent cryptic but revealing. Paul Germain and Joe Ansolabahir, interviews 1997 to 2003, describe Recess as Lord of the Flies meets the Shawshank Redemption in elementary school. Shawshank Redemption, iconic prison film, direct reference to incarceration. Interview snippet 2001. We wanted to show how kids create society when adults control the walls. Control the walls. Prison language, not school language. Storyboard artist Chuck Sheets, 2015. Retrospective. The playground was its own world because it had to be. These kids didn't have outside world. Had to be suggests narrative necessity beyond comedy premise. Writer Holly Huckins, 2018. Panel, Miss Finster wasn't villain. She was doing her job managing kids who couldn't be anywhere else. Couldn't be anywhere else. Explicit acknowledgement kids are placed at facility, not attending by choice. Cultural context. 1990s. Recess premiered amid peak juvenile incarceration rates in United States. 1997 saw 108,000 youth in residential placement facilities. Super predator myth drove policy placing children in adult systems. Recess aired during era when America locked up children at unprecedented rates. Series reflected institutional reality millions of families experienced. Kids removed from homes, placed in controlled environments, processed through systems emphasizing compliance over rehabilitation. Playground society mirrors documented coping mechanisms detained youth develop, establishing hierarchies for safety, creating found families replacing biological ones, developing rituals and traditions, providing structure when control is stripped. Disney broadcast juvenile detention documentary disguised as Saturday morning cartoon, and 20 million kids recognized the dynamics because many lived them or knew someone who did. Series finale, Recess Taking the 5th Grade, 2003 TV movie, provides revealing closure. Gang promoted to 5th grade faces losing recess privileges. 5th grade shown as more restrictive, less freedom. Juvenile justice interpretation. Aging into more serious facility tier. Restrictions increasing as youth grow older. They fight to preserve recess, fighting for only freedom they have. Ending ambiguous about whether they succeed. because detained youth rarely win against system. Final shot shows playground empty at sunset. Kids returned inside, day over. Tomorrow starts again with same containment. Academic interest emerging. 2019 criminology thesis, Youth Incarceration Representation in Children's Media, analyzed recess as unintentional or intentional depiction of juvenile detention. 2022 Education Journal article, Playground Politics and Institutional Control, cited series as case study power dynamics in controlled youth environments. The playground cracks open. Recess wasn't wholesome cartoon about friendship. It was trauma processing tool, showing detained youth creating meaning inside confinement, establishing order when adults controlled every movement, building family when separated from homes. 3rd Street School never released its 997 students. Disney showed us childhood incarceration for 127 episodes, and we called it Friendship because recognizing the cage was too painful. Thanks for escaping with Toon Truth exposed. If Recess Playground rewires into recognition that kids created society because walls prevented them leaving, smash subscribe. Weekly Reddit theory animations drop every Tuesday. Next transmission, Arthur's absent father and CPS investigation. Elwood City, never resolved. Notifications on. Truth exposes the institutions.